Hey everybody, welcome to My Deck Tech.
Yay.
If you've looked above, you've seen Danny's Urabrast something. I'm not sure what. Hidden. Yes. And here we have my deck. Now we can see here, look down here, at all my cards. Today I have ascended the mere limitations of colors of Magic and become an entity of its own.
I'm terrified.
You are. You should be terrified of... My commander for today shall be Kozilek, Butcher of Truth.
It's the classic battle of Magic villains, Eldrazi and Praetor.
Who's going to be eviler?
Hard to say.
Hard to say. All right. Well, Kozilek, he says draw cards, and I like to draw cards. All it takes is a small pittance of 10 mana, and you draw 4 cards.
You're playing blue even when you're not playing blue.
Just 3 times as much mana.
Oh.
All right, so we've got a bunch of non-mana colored symbols. My devotion will not be very high this match.
That's true.
If you look above, we've got All Is Dust, the classic Eldrazi sweeper.
Boom.
One of the 2 Eldrazi spells in the game.
Boom.
I think. Don't quote me on that. And also next to that will be Coercive
Portal.
Thank you, English major. Boom.
Boom.
It either draws a card or wraps the board. It's one of the new conspiracy cards. Very sweet. It's kind of like a...
How do you feel about Will of the Council?
I feel like it's an awesome mechanic.
I do too. It's, now that I've played with it a little, one of the funnest mechanics I've ever played with.
It loses something in 1v1 because I can essentially always just make this a Howling Mine.
Yes. Which is fine.
Yeah, but when you do play multiplayer, Will of the Council is awesome.
It's intense. I love it.
So you might notice some colorless. There aren't a lot of colorless non-artifact spells.
Correct.
So I'm an artifact theme. I've got stuff such as Blinkmoth Urn and Mirrorworks. Blinkmoth Urn will give me lots of mana, and Mirrorworks will make more Blinkmoth Urns.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful. I need tokens for every artifact imaginable. If you look up here, we've got the Duplican and the Strionic Resonator. Now, Duplican is a colorless way to kill things, and he might get bigger. Who knows? Might get a Praetor, possibly.
Oh, I hope not.
And Strionic Resonator will copy triggered abilities, such as Kozilek's Draw 4 Cards or Kozilek's Annihilator ability. Funny. Interestingly enough, if you copy Duplican's imprint ability, they had to change the rules of the game. Because you imprint 2 creatures. So how does it know which creature to look at?
That's insane.
That is insane. But thankfully, they now know it's the last one.
It's so delightful to watch you break Magic's rules.
I'm trying real hard because I can't break anything else.
It's his favorite thing.
I know. All right, and look at the top left. We have Trading Post, the Bradley J. Narson's Invitational card.
We may have some goats.
We might just have some goats. It does what Trading Post expects. And here we have Karn Silver Golem. He is not quite liberated. He is unliberated.
Old school Karn.
Old school Karn.
The original.
He's a lover, not a fighter. He's a pacifist.
That's true.
Made of silver, so he can travel through time
to
perform Urza's experiments and
story time.
What?
Vorthos McGee.
Come on,
man.
No,
I like your stories. I like them. Yeah.
You always say they're pretty cool, and for some reason I'm your brother. I don't know why.
Tell me cool stories about these cards.
The Clock of Omens, or Coup, as I like to call it. It's pretty much a Voteki, which I'm also running, but Clock is newer, M13, 15? I don't know what set this is.
That is 13.
13. How unlucky. Anyway, and untap things. The more interesting card of these 2, I believe, is Null Brooch.
Now, what can you make of this?
Of this? Well, I can make a brooch, or a hat, or a pterodactyl.
Oh,
that's besides the point.
Put that down.
Okay. It counterspells. I won't have a hand, but thankfully, you won't have any spells resolving if that's happening.
I'm terrified of that.
It is terrifying. So there's a couple of the colorless spells. The rest of the deck is chock full of artifacts, and that's actually about it. I can't play anything else.
This is the bluest colorless deck I've ever seen.
Thank you. And here we look at the bottom. Since I cannot play basic lands because they have mana symbols and in their tap line, I get to play lots of unique utility lands because they're not just utility; they're for fertility.
One of the coolest, well said.
Thank you.
One of the cool things about playing a colorless general is you have to get real creative with your land base.
You do. Unfortunately, one of the hot things about playing a colorless general, hot being the antonym of cool, maybe warm, is that you don't have a lot to choose from. There are only so many cards that aren't a color.
That's true.
So a lot of these lands will be shared in every Kozilek or Ulamog or Karn Silver Golem list.
Fortunately, they're all very accessible, like Mishra's Workshop.
Yeah, Mishra's Workshop, hey man, you gotta show the bling, all right? It can't cast a commander, but thankfully it's a Dark Ritual every turn for every other card in my deck.
Very balanced.
We've got random things like Homeward Path and Cavern of Souls, very good against opposing blue decks, of which you're playing a red deck.
Sorry.
So they'll really do nothing at all. And other random cards, Tower of the Magistrate is good against artifacts, so you'll be playing lots of those. And Ayavugan and Eldrazi Temple
Very subtle synergies there.
Yes. Ayavugan and Eldrazi Temple help me complete my Eldrazi themed deck.
The Butcher.
The Butcher.
Well, shall we get on to the butchering?
We shall.
All right, good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun. No, Regi. All right.
Bye.
Bye.